Thanksgiving.
Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Swannanoa Valley. I'm Anna Marcel de Hermanos, and I'm a member of the Board of Directors. This is Sunday, November the 8th, in the year of 2020, which just keeps giving us surprises. So, due to the pandemic, one of the big things that is going on in the world, we are streaming our virtual service to you on YouTube and Facebook at 10:45. And you can find the link to that either in the email that you get every week or in our weekly current. We hope that you'll join us after the service for conversation about what's happening in the world and in our own lives. And that is on Zoom immediately following the service. And that link also is in your email and in the current. So our service today is a little bit different in that it's a discussion of some of the concerns that are going on in our country and the world. And also things that have to do with our fifth principle, which is the right of conscience and the use of the democratic process. So we'll be hearing from some of you and our minister on that topic. We're a busy congregation. There are a lot of announcements in the current, but I do want to remind you that our minister, Michael Carter, will be giving a racial justice virtual training on November 19th. So please put that on your calendar. It's from 4 to 6:15 p.m. And it will help us all get on the same page to do the work we need to do as a congregation. So with that in mind, let the service begin.
Well, good morning, or actually it's good afternoon. They tell me there's an election going on, so people are kind of on edge, but we're still in this thing, so I'm just going to leave it at that. And I want to welcome you to our gathering. We're going to have just the time to talk, to vent, to do whatever you want in the 30, 40 minutes where we would have a sermon. And so it'll be good to see you. We have people here live, and it'll be good to see you this evening as well. But so I want to begin with opening words from the late Reverend David Bumbaugh. I had the pleasure of knowing him. He had a UU congregation in New Jersey. I think his words are very apropos. We are here dedicated to the proposition that beneath all of our differences, behind all of our diversity, there is a unity that binds us forever together. It binds us together in spite of time and death and the space between the stars. We pause and we gather together to acknowledge that unity. And so with that said, I invite you now to join us in our opening hymn this morning, hymn number 123, Spirit of Life, hymn number 123. I want to share our reading this morning in the back of the gray hymnal. The first one is 462 from Freedom Fighter, just salt of the earth human being, the late Paul Robeson. He says, I shall take my voice wherever there are those who want to hear the melody of freedom or the words that might inspire hope and courage in the face of despair and fear. My weapons are peaceful, for it is only by peace that peace can be attained. The song of freedom must and will prevail. Our second reading is from African-American intellectual and activist W.E.B. Du Bois. Professor Du Bois says that now is the accepted time, not tomorrow and not some more convenient season. It is today that our best work can be done and not some future day or some future year. It is today that we fit ourselves for the greater usefulness of tomorrow. Today is the seed time. Now are the hours of work. And tomorrow comes the harvest and the playtime. Okay, now's the time in our service when we invite you to share with us a joy, a concern, a sorrow. We ask that you join in this. It keeps us in that spirit of community. It also lets me know who needs pastoral care, myself and Larry Perlman and the Pastoral Care Committee. But that said, take the time, share with us a joy, a concern. The floor is yours.
Hi, Larry Perlman. I have a great joy and a bit of a concern to share today. And my joy is, I'm going to talk about the auction, is we have about 200 items to auction off. Our goal was 150. So it is remarkable how many items we've got in. My concern is, as of today, Wednesday, when we're taping this, we have 16 people registered to bid in the auction. So unless those 16 people want to buy 200 items, we really need to get people registered. If you just go on the site, go to the UUSV site, and you'll go down, you see a green button, click on that, takes you to the auction site, go up to where it says tickets, click that, and then follow the directions and register so you too can bid on some of those 200 phenomenal items. Thanks.
We thank you for taking the time to share with us your thoughts and heartfelt concerns. For those of you who, for whatever reason, decided not to share, know that we keep you in our hearts and in our minds and in our thoughts and prayers. I invite you to join in the spirit of prayer and meditation. And after this, we will have our time of silence. And so please center yourselves as you see fit, as you're most comfortable with. And again, I will use the words of W.E.B. Du Bois from a lovely anthology called Prayers for Dark People. We ask tonight and this afternoon, oh God, for better government in this land, for a keener sense of responsibility among those who are in authority, remembering that public office is not for private gain, but for the greater good of all. Give to those who choose officials equal realization of the great responsibility that rests on them, knowing that a land is, after all, what its voters make of it. Let us realize, too, that even when we, all of us, the disenfranchised, we all have our duties. The duty of thorough preparation, the duty of careful observation, the duty of intelligent criticism. All these things go to make a civilized state, a civilized nation, such as we wish and work for our land to be. And so now, while our minds are one, I invite you and leave you with the eloquence of silence. And so it is. We take this time now to thank you ahead of time for your generosity of spirit, your generosity of gifts. As you always hear me say, I use the words of my favorite philosopher, William James, that the greatest use of life is to spend it on something that will outlast it. And one day we will all be the ancestors. And so we want you, UCSB, to still be here. And so with that in mind, we will now collect this morning's offering. We have a special treat This morning we have some guest artists who are going to play for us an old classic, Over the Rainbow. This Sunday, the time after the election, it's actually Wednesday afternoon. I wanted us to come together and to just let off some steam. You can cuss and fuss, you're among loved ones here, and hopefully you'll have more to say than just that. But this is the time now. We come together. It's been a stressful time since March, even more so with the election and not having those results as yet, and also the holiday season. It's just going to be a time of change. And so I want us to take this time where we would have a sermon. We'll have a sermon of your voices. So whoever wants to jump in, just remember that we're going to use the I statements and let people finish their thoughts. But let's take the time to soothe and to comfort and to listen to one another. So without further ado.
I have really missed this activity of being the church arsonist. I think about it every Sunday and watch people lighting the chalice and think, I can't wait to be able to do this again. I am not going to talk about the election. I'm basically going to talk about attitudes. One of my favorite all-time songs is Barbra Streisand's about friendship and how you need friends. And I think maybe I rely on friends maybe too much, but I don't know how you can do that because friendship is so important to me. Perhaps because I grew up as an only child and craved being around other people. So I miss so much as a result of that. I miss this congregation. I miss going to the senior center, the Lakeview Senior Center. I miss most everything that you can't do if you're doing it on Zoom. I mean, I really am not crazy about Zoom, but at least you get to see other people that way. But it's not the same thing because I miss hugs so much. This church is wonderful, for hugging, and the people at the Lakeview Center are the same way. I have been able to, during this time, because we can meet outdoors, get together with 10 neighbors once a week on Thursday night. We bring our chairs and our wine, and we have all bought little heaters so we can continue to do this in the winter when it gets too cold. We mainly talk about things going on in the neighborhood, but we also talk about politics because we all support the same candidate, which is why not all neighbors have been invited to attend these meetings. Some of them have asked, and then we said, we're not sure you'd be really comfortable being with us. And I don't know if they understood why I said that, but I didn't know what else to say. But it has been a real blessing to be with these people and get to know them better, because otherwise we wouldn't really know each other. We wave at each other, we might meet each other at the mailbox, but we don't know each other that well. Two other members of this congregation also who are in our neighborhood are Molly and Russ Keeney, so they join us also every Thursday night. Another thing about friendships that has deepened during this time is that some of the friends that I have made here also get together outdoors, and I think because of that, our friendships have deepened as a result of this. At a recent funeral, all mourners were given a little card that said, "Remember, everything will be okay." I thought that was a wonderful gift from the deceased, because she had asked that this happen at her funeral because she knew she was dying and she wanted to leave a positive word behind. Another song that sticks with me is also "Accentuate the Positive." I can't always do that, just as I can't always live up to our principles as much as I'd like to. But I do believe that accentuating the positive may well help us through these trying times.
Hi. During this time, this challenging time during the pandemic, and especially these last few days here during the election, I found it's become more and more important to me to focus on why I'm here, why I'm on the planet, and not get distracted by all the externals. Because the externals don't really change what I call my mission on earth, which is, as the button says, love starts here. And I can't exude love if I'm caught up in anger, caught up in depression, caught up in all those things that that we can allow externals to cause. So I didn't watch the election results, not 1 minute of it, didn't listen to any of it, because it doesn't matter if I listen to it or not. So yesterday, which was Tuesday, because we're doing this on Wednesday, at 5 o'clock, Ruth and I and Maggie Moon and Laura went down to our Wednesday corner to do our love thing on Tuesday because we figured it would be important. And lo and behold, some other people showed up and they had their own love signs. And then these 3 teenagers came down the street and they said, "Hey, can we join you?" And we gave them signs. And we had a dozen people out on the main intersection with love signs on the day of the election. And what was amazing was we got more positive feedback on that day. I mean, you'd think people would be stressed out. They loved it. And that's what it's all about, is sharing love. And we needn't lose sight of that just because we think the earth is falling because somebody gets elected or somebody doesn't get elected. Stay about our mission.
Good morning. It's been a rough week. And it's a rough day. We are here on Wednesday at the UU Church. It's so nice to be here with a few people and to see faces, masked and otherwise. One of the things that's helping me a lot to get through is my practice of sacred circle dance. And recently, I started having occasional, spontaneous, outdoor, socially distanced sacred circle dances with a few friends. That's been very uplifting for me. One of the dances that we do regularly is based on the song about Julian of Norwich called The Bells of Norwich. You've probably heard it many times. Loud are the bells of Norwich. That one. And so Julian was a mystic in the Middle Ages, in the 1300s in England, and she almost died of the Black Death. And in her town of Norwich, which was the second largest city in England at the time, half the people died of the Black Death. And there was also political unrest and upheaval. So her message to people who came to her for advice was, all shall be well. All manner of things shall be well. And she didn't mean the little things in our daily lives. She meant on a larger scale, because people were dying. So if we can take that message for us, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well, perhaps it can comfort us now during this trying time. Blessings, and all shall be well.
All the videos recorded at the church were filmed on Wednesday. Today is Saturday, and the mood is quite different. The election has now been called for Joe Biden, and I know that in our family, this announcement felt like a huge weight was lifted. Although this one election isn't going to fix everything that's broken, it feels like a step in the right direction. I heard a political commentator quote Winston Churchill, who after a large turning point in World War II stated, "Now this is not the end. It is not even the beginning of the end, but it is perhaps the end of the beginning." I know that there are many people in our church who work for progress and to help serve the community. We didn't let the last 4 years get our spirits down. We continue to work to improve our lives and the lives of those around us, and I'm proud to be a part of it. I'm hopeful that Biden's presidency will help continue to move the country in a more equitable, sustainable, and more caring way, and UUCSV will definitely continue to work with these goals in mind. Thanks.
Well, our time is up. I'm sure it went fast, but I want to thank you for taking the time out of your evening. I hope you believe it was time and feel it was time well spent. I want to thank you for coming and communing with us. And we'll see what happens. I want to share with you some closing words. They're a little lengthy, but we have the time. This is called In Troubled Times. From the loneliness of troubled times we come to discover that we're not alone. Into the dwelling place of togetherness we come to collect remnants of hope. From fear that all is lost we come to discover what will save us. Into the comfort of each other's arms we come to feel the strength that has not yet vanished. From darkness we come to wait until our eyes actually begin to see. Into the refuge of fading dreams we come to remove illusions and to focus or to refocus on new visions. From despair that walks alone we come to travel together. Into the indwelling place of generations we come to pledge allegiance to being peace and to doing justice. Keep the faith. Have a peaceful evening.
For the beauty of the earth.
you.